Hi, my name is Kyle. I make multiple six figures for my clients, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how I personally see my clients stand out from their competition, the things that they base their offer on so that they can be better, and what I've done personally to sign these big clients and what they saw in me which made them want to go with me compared to everyone else. As you can see on screen right now, there's also all this proof as well that I have for people saying good stuff about me, so really cool. Anyways, carrying on. Over here. So we all know the main things offers are based on, right? So you have dream outcome times likelihood of achievement over effort and sacrifice by time delay, right? And that equals value. So if we look at an offer at a fundamental level, Alex Hormozi crafted the best, I would say, example of what makes a great offer. And then when you think about all those four variables, if you have those in mind when you're making your offer, you'll know if you're actually going to generate value for someone. Now, when I'm in contention for a job, so someone's choosing me to build out a certain system, let's say a webinar funnel, or building out their ads, or managing their ads, or building out automations, whatever. The main thing I look to do to be better than everyone else at is one of these four things here. So in a market that's really crowded, a lot of people will try to be a little bit better and a little bit cheaper, whereas I don't try to do that at all. I try to be the most expensive person and slowly just keep raising prices until you are the best person in the market. You also charge the most. But then again, what you charge is still less than the value that they're getting. So it's still a good deal for them. And I think a lot of people forget that. They just want to charge the most, but you still have to remember it's got to be a great deal for the other person still. And that's what I aim to achieve. Now I think there's four things you can look to mention about your offer, which can make it better than everyone else. The first is speed. So let's say everyone in the market right now takes a month to do something, or a month to deliver the service you're doing, but you found out a way to do it in 3 days. Because of that speed, and rich people will pay a lot for speed. If you can accomplish the goal that they want in a much shorter time frame, they'll be so happy to give you a lot of money, not the other guy, because they value their time very highly. So if things can happen sooner, they'll pay for that. They're also very aware that time is limited, and they can go and make more money, but you can't go and make more time. So every second, every hour is very precious. So it's valued at a very high rate as well to make sure it's maximized and used in a way that they are wanting to use it. It doesn't have to be spent going to get more money, because it could even be spent spending time with their family, giving back to a certain cause, spending time doing that, going to traveling with their friends around Europe or something. Very common right now, but yeah, speed is a huge thing. People want things quicker. Side note, sorry, I always like a little side note. When you're thinking about this stuff, you can think like logically. So that's like the normal way people think about it. Like, for example, in London, there used to be, so in London there's tubes, right? It's just like underground trains. And people back in the day used to complain a lot about how slow they were. So they proposed this huge plan to make the trains faster, improve it here, right? Cut these corners here so we can make it like 50% faster. However, instead they hired some other guy to come in and wanted to hear his plans. So the logical thinking to improve speed was to make trains faster, right? However, instead he came in and propose a different idea. So there's logical thinking and there's like divergent. This can also be cast as like psychological. He instead said, okay, if people know how long it will take for a train to come, the expectations will be changed. So instead of making trains faster, he chose to add signs. He chose to add signs that let people know when the next train is expected to arrive. So then people weren't feeling like they were waiting for ages or hours or minutes or whatever. Instead, they knew exactly how long they had to wait, and they could see when it's going to arrive. And that greatly reduced complaints. Now, this is also a much cheaper fix than going and making all the change faster, which would have cost billions. Yeah, there's multiple ways you can think about your offer and when you're looking to improve it. So don't forget that. But carrying on, the second thing you can do to improve your offer, or to consider when you're trying to stand out from the competition and be better, is trustworthy. So that essentially means, this is like the likelihood of achievement factor, right? If people believe that the dream outcome that they want to achieve is more likely to occur if they go with you, they'll again give you more money. There's a reason you'd rather have Ronaldo train you rather than like just some Sunday league football player, if you could afford both of them, right? The reason is because you trust, based off Ronaldo's track record of winning Champions Leagues, winning league titles, that he can get you the result that you're looking for, right? And he can make you the best version, especially if your dream outcome is to become like, I don't know, a world-class football player. you're going to want to have world-class support around you. But you need to trust that those people are of world-class quality. And the way you trust them is based off their track record. So if someone's more trustworthy, that will make them better and stand out compared to everyone else, which means they can also charge more. That's another factor I look to base myself off of. And that's why I have all them client results as well. I like to show people that and show people that I actually do what I say I'm doing in these videos and have done for others. So number 3, the next thing is you can make it easier. This is now a factor of effort and sacrifice. So how we make it easier is essentially, let's say, for example, you go into the gym and you want a 6-pack, all right? Now, if you're going to get a 6-pack, that may take a year, depending on like the state you're at. That may take like a year to get. Whereas you can just go and get a liposuction, and that just takes like, what, 1 day? You sleep, wake up with a 6-pack. So as you can see, there's a 1-year difference. This is way easier, right? And that's also why it's 10x the price. This is just a gym membership. Whereas liposuction, you have to go to the doctors and all that type of stuff. And it's 10 times easier, which means the price is 10 times higher. Because guess what? It has greater value. So that's also another thing I like to base my offer off. Like, I'm going to handle everything for you. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm going to give you regular updates and check-ins so you know how the things are going. You don't have to micromanage me or prompt me because I know exactly how I want to build this out. So that's another thing I like to base my offer on. I want to be the quickest. I want to have the most trust. I want to be the easiest to work with. These are all factors I'm thinking about when I'm going to start working with someone. I'm going to prove that from minute 1. And for example, as soon as they send me a message, I'm looking to reply within 5 minutes. Because before you start working with someone, it's an indicator of what it'll be like when they work with you too. So the sale doesn't start as soon as they buy. The sale starts as soon as first contact is made. You need to start showing all of this straight away. Anyway, speed, trustworthy, and easier. And the 4th and final thing you can use to make your offer better is be different. Now, you can be different again by being quicker, by being trustworthy, by being easier. But different can be in terms of the unique mechanism, which means the method you use to get the dream outcome is different to what they've tried in the past. For example, let's use the gym example again because it's really easy to use gym examples and like weight loss. If someone did like a keto diet and it went poorly, they aren't going to want someone to say, hey, look, we're going to try that keto diet again. If you came in and said, we're going to try, I don't know, a vegan diet. I mean, I wouldn't do a vegan diet, but let's say instead you say, look, let's try a vegan diet instead. You might be like, oh, okay. It's different to what I tried in the past. So I believe this has a greater chance of working for me because it's different to what I've seen before. And people love to see different, especially when the other thing they tried didn't work before. And if you try to say to them, hey, just try it again, they're going to be more resistant to that. I'm not going to say they won't do it because there's some things you should just keep trying at. Like I'd recommend going to the gym and just getting in shape because you want to build those habits, right? They're good habits to build. But if you say to someone, just try again, they're less likely to do it because they're going to have so much resistance around it. So the unique mechanism that you have as your offer, which isn't always available, like for example, if you're an insurance company, right? You just do insurance. There's no unique mechanism you can have, but you can compete on speed. Your support team can be quicker. When someone was looking for a payout, you can be quicker to give it to them. Trustworthy, you have a track record of giving people payouts and responding to people, being reliable. Third, you'd make it easy for people. You can have a nice app, easy for people to file a report, those sort of stuff. So these things you can always compete on. And I would recommend competing on those so that you can be the most expensive in your market or the cheapest. There's no awards for being second cheapest. So don't try to be second at any, just try to be the most expensive or the cheapest and then dictate your offer around that. Because that's where the biggest leverage is made, being number 1 in a certain category. So yeah, those are the 4 things I try to think about when I'm either making an offer to someone, I'm starting to work with someone, and what I see from my clients as well when they are delivering their service. These are the things that they think about when they are pitching to clients, when they're trying to sell people. Because a lot of their offers, and I think the main thing that they are on, that they really stand out on, is being different. And the reason is because being different is probably one of the biggest gaps you can have in today's day and age. Because people have tried a lot of stuff, like I just mentioned, if they try something different, they're more likely to take action on it because they have a higher likelihood it's going to work. Cool, that's all from me. Hope you found this valuable. Hope you have some new ways you can think about your offer. As I'm thinking about coming up with loads of offers now these days. It's a very, very exciting thing to do. Very fun thing to do for me personally. I don't know about you, but yeah, Keep crushing it, be generous, work hard, take risks. Bye.